Hey, folks, this is Coach Raja coming to you live, and I appreciate all of you. You get a ring of the victory bell for being here and being so amazing and watching on the live, because when you're live, you thrive. And when you're on the replay, you get to play again. So those of you that are on the YouTube or the podcast or Insta or LinkedIn Lives, we are expanding our brand. It just keeps on growing, and it just keeps getting so amazing. Just like our next guest. Her name is Marian Egan. Now, Marian provides solutions to physical, emotional, and mental pain. She empowers people to heal themselves. Qualified in 8 professional modalities, she's been in practice for over 30 years. Marian founded the Heart Art Magic in 2010, painting from the subconscious to help release physical, emotional, and mental disharmony. Marian is the creator of healing card decks with hand-painted images on one side and a message and frequency number on the reverse. Marian's healing card decks course is accredited with the International Kinesiology College Personal Development School. The body has an innate intelligence to heal itself. Now, Marian facilitates and supports this healing process. So, without any further delay, let's welcome the one, the only, super smart, super beautiful, super talented Marian Egan, who has walked uphill to school both ways, 10 miles in the snow, barefoot. That's right. The one, the only, Marian Egan. Hello, Marian. It's great to have you here. How are you feeling today?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, of course. I'm so happy that you're here today. Now, for everybody that's here today, guess what? You get a victory bell because you're here. And let's just dive right in with the questions here. So now, Marian, tell us where you're from and kind of like how you grew up.
Okay, so I'm living in Ireland. That's where I've been born, and growing up was not very easy. I can tell you, I was really happy until the age of 8, and I had a traumatic experience that really changed. I just lost myself at that stage, So I found school very challenging, and I realized, as I was training for the modalities that I'm a brain gym consultant as well. So as I was training for brain gym, I realized that I wasn't a good learner. Learning was very difficult for me. I'm more creative than I am academic, So my dad asked me, when I was 15, he asked me to get a job. And he said to me, look, there's a job in the paper. Why don't you go and apply for it? I did, and I got it. So I left school at 15. And it's amazing. I remember when I was leaving, I was pulled aside by the head nun, and she said, there will be a place for you somewhere in the world, And, I literally, the day I was actually teaching in a major university in the west of Ireland, and the students were professors and lecturers, and I was teaching a class to them, and I remember those words, So it is amazing what you can do when the struggles are your major drivers to help you to move forward and to move on.
It is. So what got you started in that health and wellness industry?
Well, I had been knocked down by a car for the second time in my life.
Oh, and I can empathize. I've been in 2 big car accidents myself. I know what you mean.
And that brought up the trauma that I had experienced at age 8. Okay, so for many years I had suppressed the shame, the blame, the guilt, all of that sort of thing. I kept suppressed. Now, what you suppress, you will lead to depression. And I know that now as an adult, but as a child, I was just trying to hide from the world. I used to walk to school with my hood up, hoping people couldn't see how bad I felt. That's how bad I got, right? So anyway, I could no longer suppress the blame, the shame, the guilt, and I had to seek professional help. And that helped in some way, but not a huge amount. So what got me started down this wellness route was I was looking for healing for myself. And that's that's where I started. And I started in the fitness industry. You know, that's where
all right. So that's how you created the healing card deck. So what results did you get by using them?
Oh, do you know what? I created them because my 95-year-old mom got pneumonia and COVID at the same time, and my daughter informed me of her cancer diagnosis.
Right.
And my daughter wanted me to be her mom, not her therapist.
Yeah.
So because I founded Heart Art Magic is painting from the subconscious, I decided I would do a healing painting for Mom and for Jenny every week, which I did. And they both got well. Now, they had their conventional treatments as well. So I got the inspiration then to bring those images and create a card deck, which I knew nothing about card decks. But I created the card deck, found out how, created it. And then I rang client after client to see, well, how do they work? Because I didn't know how they worked, because they were my creation. And Raja, as I was working with my clients and I asked them, had they any pain? And when they said yes, I read the message on the card. I showed them the image. I read the message, installed the frequency number, and their pain went away. And I just said, oh my goodness, like that was incredible. And I did it time and time.
I'm gonna try it. Yeah, my mom right now, she just came out of the ICU after 4 weeks, and now she's in physical therapy in a rehab center. I'm gonna have to try. I study her cards and try it with her, and hopefully she can heal faster.
Well, don't try it with her. Just do it with her. You know, don't just do it, because when I saw when I saw the impact it had with clients and their pain disappearing, I said, well, why is that? What's happening here, right? And then I started listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks about going from the beta fight-flight mode into the alpha, theta, delta, gamma, where the healing happens. And I said to myself, gosh, that's why they work. They actually take people. It's a very shortcut getting people out of the beta wavelength into a healing state. And you know, every time I do it, it works, and I'm just so grateful, so appreciative that I created something that was designed for 2 people. Now it's helping hundreds of people around the world.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. And like I've read some of his modalities about how people who need to get into, if you want to do habit changing, he talks about going into delta, and people say that, oh, you only go into delta when you're dreaming, but actually there's other ways, which is why meditation works, that helps you get into delta. So like, we're not going to dwell on that now, but just open up your mind, people. That's all I can say. Just keep your mind open.
Yeah.
And
before I paint, I meditate. I meditate before I paint. So the meditation is within the image. So it's all comes together.
Right. So now, here's my question with that. How do they work? Like, do you use the binaural beats, or do you use a some sort of a MP3 to play the frequencies as you're looking at the cards, or that kind of helps you transfer into that?
No, well, how the frequencies work is, the frequency is here, so it's a number, and the frequency for this here is 333-999-666. So what the person does is they tap the number into the body, and I usually get them to tap on the thymus, right? And it would be 333-999-666, and they do that 5 or 7 or 10 times per card, and that's what eliminates and decreases the stress, the anxiety, or the physical pain.
All right, I love it. So now, can anyone use them?
Yes, anyone can use them. But I ask people, before you use them, first of all, have an intention. Set an intention. what do you want the outcome to be? Is it that you want to be rid of the headache or the backache or the stress or the anxiety? How would you like to feel? So set the intention of how you'd like to feel. And then you shuffle the deck and you can choose one card. I actually do my cards for myself every single day. And I've done that from the very first day I created them. I've recorded everything. I'm on the end of my 5th journal of how the cards have helped me to get from where I was back then to where I am now. So I use them for guidance and direction and, motivation. So I use them for everything, really.
Right. Gotcha. I love it. I love it. So now, let's tell me a little bit more about, where's your long-term goal with your business? So you've been helping people through your cards and through your coaching. So what else, what do you want to do and how do you want to reach these people?
Well, primarily, I would love to have practitioners or holistic health practitioners, coaches, chiropractors, to have this tool in their office that they can use this tool on their clients. But equally, anybody can have a card deck and do it on themselves. So it empowers people to heal themselves because now they have a self-healing tool. Now, it's not instead of medical, help. Always consult your doctor when you have an issue. This is just a simple self-healing tool that works, and it works very simply and easily. So the long-term goal would be to have to teach people how to use my cards. That would be the ideal scenario.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So now you have a gift that you want to share with everybody. Can you tell us what that is and what they will benefit when they click on it?
Yeah. So literally, like what I said, it's me doing a card reading. So when you're playing this gift for yourself, set your intention. What do you want to achieve? And if you have to stop the video to write that down, stop the video, set the intention, and then I choose the cards and you tap in the frequencies and notice the change. It's very, very simple, but it's a lovely gift to have, and you can use it over and over again for different scenarios.
Absolutely. So now, right now, I got a mind blown. I didn't realize all these different frequencies affect different moods, your health, your healing. I definitely take a look at that video. Click that link down below. If we're on YouTube, it'll be in the show notes. If you're in the podcast, it'll be down the bottom. If it's somewhere else, you know where to find it. They're a smart audience out there. I will make sure that you get this. If it's on Facebook, it'll be in the chat below the video as per Facebook policies. So everybody, definitely take a look at that and let me know more about it and how it works for you. We always love to hear back from our audience. I mean, you guys are the fans, and this is why we're doing this. And by the way, you are number 363 on the way to 400. Number 363. So we are on our way, aren't we? So Marian, let's shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the softer side of Sears, I call it, and just get to know you as a person. Now, some of this you already told us, but just it's okay. Hit it briefly, and so we already know you were born in Ireland, how you grew up. Tell me, when you were growing up, what was life like in your family? Like, how did you live? Did you live on a farm in the city? Did you commute to school? Did you do something else? Like, what was life like for you?
Well, I lived just outside Dublin city centre, which I could walk into Dublin city centre. It would take me about 35 minutes or so. So I lived in the suburbs. I walked to school. School was only about a 5-minute walk away. I just did not like school, Raja. One little bit. I used to dread. I dreaded Mondays. I loved Fridays.
I get you. I understand because I know people like that too.
Yeah.
No problem. What about growing up? Was there any book or a film that inspired you to become who you are today?
Well, do you know what I loved? Because it was just such a wonderful fairy tale, which is the film called "It's a Wonderful Life," and I think it's showed every Christmas. I think.
Oh yes. Oh, we know it very well.
Yeah. So because I would have loved to have had a life like that. But I just thought the lesson within it was that, you know, everybody is needed. Everybody's here for a reason. We all matter. And it doesn't matter what you think about yourself. If you don't like yourself, if you don't love yourself, you know, I would start with that, because that's when my healing started to happen, when I started to like and love who I was, you know. So that movie is so amazing, because we are all here for a reason. And, you know, it's like what you said at one stage, when you're living your passion, it's not work, it's a dream. Yeah. You just love what you do.
And that's when it starts feeling like fun. And then even when you're tired, you just keep on going because you enjoy doing it. And that's what I think a lot of entrepreneurs, I always say, don't chase the money, chase the impact. Because the reason why you're doing it is more important than the financial reward, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what will happen. What about, tell me a little bit about, is there any book, like I know that you like Joe Dispenza, is there any personal development book or any other book that has really sort of impacted the way you think?
I love Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor is he's a gem, you know. And Jim Rohn's, you know, he is just, his words of wisdom, both of those men are just so inspirational. And I know they're not with us anymore, but they will always be with us, because they have left their wisdom behind, you know. Yeah, love them.
One of my favorite Jim Rohn quotes, I use this all the time in Toastmasters, as well as other leadership trainings I do for corporate CEOs. As I say that, listen, Jim Rohn would say, don't wish your obstacles were easier, wish that you were better. And truly, it's because your obstacles in life don't change, right? But through personal development, you become more. And now you can step over, around, or through those obstacles. And that's really all it is. That's why people who don't do personal development, they don't realize that.
But, you know, every day I have my own little prayer I start my day with. And part of that is, the obstacles in my path are my path.
I like that.
It's giving me the opportunity to change, because when you've got an obstacle, you have to figure out, how do I go through it? There's no point in denying it's there. There's no point in putting the blind over your eyes and hoping it'll go away. It's there for a reason, and the reason is for us to grow. So how do you grow? It's like what I said about my mom and my daughter with the life health challenge, you know.
Yeah.
The thing about that was, you know, I got the inspiration to create the card deck. Now, I could have just said, that's a great idea, but I didn't. I actually said, how am I going to do it? And I found a way to do it, and I did it. So I took the action. So action, you know, when you get inspiration, grab it, because if you get it, you're very honored, you're very lucky. And this is the one thing I learned from Jim Rohn and Bob Proctor, you know, because it was Bob Proctor speaking about frequencies at the time. I was listening to a video and he was talking about frequencies, and I said, my images have a frequency. Why don't I create the frequency for the image? You know?
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and that's how it came about. But I took the action, I did it, and now I've utilized it. And my card decks are in 19 countries now, which is fantastic.
Ooh, you gotta ring the Victor Bell for that. That's beautiful. Congratulations for that. I gotta say, we're getting a little bit towards. We need to shift gears into our next segment here, but I want to ask you one more question here. I have 2 more questions here. What is your favorite kind of music that gets you fired up?
Oh, I love. I thought I'd never say this, but I love classical music. You know, like the waltzes and. You know, there's times when music comes on, and you know, when it gets you here, and you just start, you get very emotional. It really just, again, music is a frequency, so it really hits home, And I just love that classical music. And I'm trying to think of the conductor that does this wonderful. He has the orchestra. He goes around the world, and he plays right around the world. he is amazing, and he'd have all the audience up dancing. He has like that audience participation, and I love that. You know?
Oh, I like that too. Yeah, I remember I had auditioned in Philadelphia for the Philadelphia Pops, and I had actually made the cut. I was asked to sing in the concerts, but I didn't realize they were unpaid, and they had so many of them. And I was thinking, wait a second. So everybody's paying all these tickets, and we're not, and we're going to be an unpaid chorus. That didn't make sense to me. So I said, okay, I think I'll pass on this one because I had other gigs I had to do.
Yes.
So, but in like retrospect, I probably should have just done it for one season, just for the fun of doing it.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fun. I was young, but so before we shift gears, I want to ask you something here. So, what is your favorite food? I always love this question.
Favorite food is, as well, I suppose chicken would be a favorite of mine, you know, because it's protein based. Yeah. Protein
Gotcha. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a totally real phone call. Hello, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I need every single sandwich and chicken fingers and French fries and all the milkshakes in the green room. Staff. Thank you. All right, so that's my totally real call to Chick-fil-A. I know the manager, so they're going to take care of you. All right, so Marian, you've been a lovely guest. Thank you so much for sharing both your business and your personal story with us. I mean, I think it's very powerful. I'm going to put that banner up there again. And make sure, if you haven't clicked it yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click it. Make sure you get Marian's gift. And so that way you can start to up-level your life and start healing in ways that you never thought possible. All right, so Marian, thank you. See you soon. And we're going to bring you right back after these sponsors.
Thank you.
All right. So while Marian's in the green room, I got to ask you something here. We have our sponsors here. We have Talkadat, which is an amazing platform that actually helps you to collect leads from your speaking engagements and from your entrepreneur engagements. So if you don't have a way to do that, if you don't have a CRM, make sure you click on that link below. And on top of that, we have another bonus here I want to share with you. I am running out of my books. Yes, they are selling that fast. We're already sold a couple hundred. So make sure you grab those before they run out and they go back to pre-order again. So a portion of the proceeds of my book go towards adding invisible disabilities to the Americans with Disabilities Act, because we want to make sure that everybody is protected and respected. All right, folks. So as much fun as we're having here, let's move on, because I mean, if you don't have a branding statement, make sure that you do that. Here it is an example of something that we can do for you. When you throw a rock into a lake, what happens? No, there's a splash. You make an impact, and then you get waves. And then you don't know where those waves are going. Those waves are going past around the reeds, and you don't know where that impact is. So all of you out there, when you're on stage, you don't know where your impact is going to end. It's never going to end. All right, folks. So in today's segment of 60-second mind shift, make sure that you also click on our freebie that I give out. It is at Victory Mindset Academy. Make sure you grab that, because if you want to learn, if you want to become the next version of you, you want to grab this. We do our weekly mastermind every single week on Tuesday nights. And we also have our Victory Mindset Academy, where you get the fast action mindset course. Now, today, Marian talked about healing modalities, about being happy when you heal. Now, one thing I realized is that when I started launching my show, I was super nervous. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in between jobs, so I had free time, but I didn't know what to do with myself. So instead of only coaching my clients and making a little bit of money, I decided to back off from that and to turn it into an interview platform to help others. Guess what happened? I had so much fun learning something in a very uphill way, and it forced me to grow. So I went from here to here. You know why? Because I challenged myself to do the most scariest thing that I wanted to do, which was speaking on lives. I never wanted to, because of my speech impediment. I never wanted to do live videos of me anywhere, anytime. But when I started doing that, guess what happened? You get used to it. You overcome your fear. And so for me, fear now became not false evidence appearing real, like you hear that on the internet, but it's another version of it that I love to share with people. Fear is face everything and rise. Because if you do that, my friends, nothing can stop you. Because we talked about how when you have to work every day, it's not fun. But if you do what makes you passionate, it makes you rise in ways that you never thought possible or believable. There's a reason why, like, my tagline is always believe it and become it. Because if you believe it, you will find a way to become it. So let's get back to Marian and find out whether she saved me any food. Marian, welcome back. So tell me, how was the food and did you save me any?
No, I didn't save you anything. It was so beautiful.
No problem. I'll just order more later. All right. Thank you for that. No problem. So Marian, tell me a little about what did you think about our 60-second mind shift and what would you add to it?
Well, I think the mind shift, if you think about, what you're doing now and supporting people, helping people with mind shift. If you look like what we talked about, Jim Rohn and Bob Proctor and those wonderfuls, Wayne Dyer, all of those people, you said something about the fear. You changed the fear acronym to, a rising acronym. So that sort of thing is shifting things to make the outcome that you want to achieve. And, we can all do it when you think about how, not that it's easy, but when you do something like that, you've changed the focus and you've changed the outcome because your thinking emits an electrical energy, whereas your feelings have a magnetic drawback to you. So what you think about, you bring about, okay? And it's important that if you're thinking in a negative state, that's what you're going to get back to you. So change your thinking, change the outcome, but attach an emotion to what you really, really want to have in your life. Don't think about what you don't want. Think about what you do want. And you'll get more of what you do want than what you don't want.
All right. Thank you so much, Marian. You've been an amazing guest. I have one last question for you. If someone gave you a blank check and said, what is your grand vision to change the world? What would you do?
Well, there's two aspects to that. One is, I always love, what Gandhi said, if you want to change the world, change yourself. Become the change you want to see in the world is what he said. And if I had a blank check, I would be looking after, like Sight Savers, bringing sight back to the children that are suffering and they don't need to suffer. They need the medication that will help them to restore their sight. So for me, that's what I would be supporting, Sight Savers.
Gotcha. I love it. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, everybody. You've been an amazing guest, and we want to move on and say thank you, everybody who's been here on the live, because when you're live, you thrive. You get a ring of the victory bell. Make sure you grab her link down below in the show notes. And for everybody who's been here, once again, thank you, Marian. You've been amazing. And for all of you out there, don't forget, when you believe it, you can become it. Thank you all. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. 3 fast questions, and we are out of here. What was your favorite part about being on the show today?
I think just the communication and the, what's the word I'm looking for? What I was faced with, what you were faced with, and we both made our way in the world. We overcame the adversity that we were challenged with. That's what I love. That connection, Raja.
Yeah.
That connection, So it can either be a driver or it can be a put downer, but we both got in the driving seat and we made it happen,
Okay. And next question, what was your biggest takeaway from the training, from any part of the training today?
I think the biggest takeaway is what you said about setting up what you're doing to help other people, to support other people. And in doing so, when you help other people, you are also helping yourself. That's the biggest takeaway. The more you give, the more you can achieve yourself. So I love that. I really do love it. Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. I love it. Now, last question for you. Would you recommend me to somebody else's stage?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm in the process of doing that already. So
fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Marian. We are out of here.